Good evening, you're now with me, Lorenzo Isaac, for TVS Nightline. Here are the headlines for tonight. Sarawak to generate 10 gigawatts of energy by 2030. Limbang is set to Sarawak's biggest rice producer. 4 million ringgit allocated for the upgrade of Sungai TUJOH ICQS complex. In another ambitious plan by the state government, Sarawak aims to generate over 10 gigawatts of clean, renewable energy through its abundant natural resources by 2030. Premier Sarawak, Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, said the energy generation mix will derive from 3 energy sources, namely hydroelectric, solar, and gas turbines.
Saya telah berjumpa dengan the board of SCB. Dengan adanya teknologi baru ini dan juga pendekatan yang baru, saya minta, actually saya arahan lah. Saya telah arahkan SCB untuk menjana 10 gigawatt pada year 2030. Looking at the reaction of Datuk Sabini, I think he can. Dia ada confident lah. But you must remember, this one is not only hydro plus solar plus gas turbine.
He said this at a press conference after visiting the Kota 2 mini hydropower station in Lawas on Thursday. At the same time, the state government is also toying with the idea of generating 1.5 gigawatts of alternative energy via biomass, which would drive additional foreign investments to Sarawak.
Dan saya nampak bahawa renewable in terms of funding is easier because that's what the world wants. I have 19 ambassadors from EU, and they are going to set up what they call European Investment Bank, and they are funding renewable and green energy. And they know that we are strategically located for green energy. Setidaknya ada 10 billion euros for Asean. If you can get what 1 billion euro pergi ke Sarawak, is about apa ya? 6 billion ringgit. 6 billion ringgit. I think a lot of power cascading them. Yeah, and Europe back it up, support. Meaning their NGO Europe also support.
Limbang is primed to be Sarawak's biggest rice producer, capable of yielding 8 tons of rice harvest per hectare. State's Premier Dato' Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said that the Limbang Valley plays a crucial role in facilitating and boosting rice cultivation in the region through the 5 seasons in 2 years paddy cultivation initiative.
Because Limbang Valley has been identified for us to produce paddy. And now we got new technology paddy. I proven it in my constituency together with UPM. Within 24 months, you can produce 5 seasons. The yield is from 1.2 ton per hectare to 8 ton.
In addition, Abang Johari shared that paddy farmers can also earn up to 6,400 ringgit per month through the initiative.
In other matters, the Sarawak government has approved a total of 4 million ringgit to improve and upgrade the facilities at the Sungai TUJOH Immigration, Customs, Quarantine and Security ICQS complex St. Mary. Chief among them is the implementation of a multiple entry point system to tackle traffic woes during peak periods.
And nampaknya angkanya memang bertambah, sebab itu pihak agensi di sini berkendakkan pembaharuan secara interim sementara menunggu projek di bawah rancangan Malaysia ke-13. Kita di Sarawak kita rasa bertanggungjawab untuk memudahkan pergerakan daripada Brunei ke Sarawak, dan secara interimnya mereka berkendakkan dana supaya mereka dapat memperbaiki saluran untuk mereka yang tak ke Sarawak.
In addition, Abang Johari also took note of the increasing number of visitors entering Malaysia via Brunei, which prompted the state government to review the entry point.
Sudah ada tanda bahawa orang Jepun dan Korea dia menggunakan RBA dan mereka melawat Brunei dan mereka terus melawat ke Sarawak, dan sebab itu kita kuasa melihat kemudahan yang ada di Sungai Tujuh. More or less we have to review the entry points. One could be dedicated to Brunei and foreigners, those tourism bus or those who are coming over to Sarawak through Brunei, plus Bruneian. So what I mean here is you have to have one category for foreigners and the other category for Malaysians.
At the same time, Abang Johari said that the existing fishbone-shaped custom booth layout will be changed to a toll-shaped design, with the construction to be completed within 6 months. For the record, over 10,000 visitors ply the ICQS weekly.
The Sarawak Cancer Centre is now awaiting talks between the federal government and the state government to sort out the financial arrangements for the project. Deputy Premier and Minister of Public Health, Housing and Local Government Sarawak, Dato' Amar Dr. Sim Kui Hian, said that as Sarawak aims to provide the best healthcare service and top-tier health facility for its people, the state government is willing and ready to fund the project. However, the decision rests in the hands of Prime Minister Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim and Premier Datuk Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg.
Last Monday, I told Premier aware of it. That is down to Premier and Prime Minister to discuss on the financial options. Money, as a Premier said, money in federal government is no money. Premier already said we have 1 billion standby. You know, the actual amount, how much we need to build how much it costs to build a cancer hospital, depending on how many beds and depending on what sorts of equipment that we want to have. But if we're given once in a lifetime opportunity, we want to be like the heart center. We want the very best. You know, and that's why it will be costly.
Previously, Premier Sarawak Dato' Patinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg said the state government is ready to fund the construction of the cancer centre by the end of 2023 if the federal government agrees to the proposal. Once completed, the cancer centre will serve the Sarawak population, including neighbouring Sabah and Indonesia. Colorectal cancer, also known as colon cancer, continues to pose a significant health threat, especially among males aged 50 years and older. Therefore, Sarawak's Deputy Premier, Dato' Amar Dr. Sim Kui Hian, urges the public to take a proactive stance by going for regular health screenings as a preventive and early detection measure. According to Dr. Sim, the disease ranks as the second most prevalent cancer in the country, as well as the leading cause of death in Malaysia.
So that's why this awareness campaign, the screening campaign, is so important, because number second highest cancer is colorectal, and 70% are stage 3 and stage 4. You know, and the colorectal cancer increase the risk after 50 years old, and we start aging. So you expect that number to increase. So it's not good. We really have limitations in resources, human resources, funding resources, and so on. And yet the people, Sarawakian, we don't, despite all this screening, doesn't take full opportunity. That means that you don't care about yourself until something happening very serious, and you blame the hospital and you blame the government. So it's not. You must take responsibility for yourself and love yourself.
He said this during the launch of the colorectal cancer awareness campaign at Sarawak General Hospital on Thursday. He revealed that a shocking 70% of colorectal patients were diagnosed at later stage 3 and 4, which reduces their chances of survival.
The resolution of 9 demands concerning the Malaysia Agreement 1963 was met with a positive response by the people of Sarawak. Senior lawyer Shanka, who commended the effort, said that Sarawak should also strive to demand the return of Territorial Sea Act 2012, Act 750, by the end of this year.
Now, one of the most important rights also that we must strive to achieve is, the Territorial Sea Act, and that is something that, it has been eroded over the years. So now it should be rightly given back to Sarawak without delay. All these matters must be resolved, and, a reasonable time is before the end of the year.
He said this when contacted by TVS on Thursday. Shanka also congratulated Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof and Premier of Sarawak Datuk Petinggi Tan Sri Abang Johari Tun Openg, along with the cabinet members, for their efforts in reclaiming MA63 rights for Sarawak and Sabah. Shanka described the resolution of the 9 demands as crucial for the people of both states, noting the significant contributions of Sabah and Sarawak to Malaysia. Among the matters that had been settled, including the amendment of the Inland Revenue Board LHDN Act 1995 and the granting of authority over licensing and deep-sea fishing to the Sabah and Sarawak state governments.
Welcome back. The Ministry of Energy Transition and Water Transformation Petra, through the Department of Irrigation and Drainage, is developing the National Water Balance Management System (NAWABS) at 19 river basins in preparation for the drought season. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Fadilah Yusof said that the system serves to ensure the river remains functioning as a water source with the help of mitigation and preemptive measures taken by other agencies. He also announced that the drought forecast will be notified 2 months in advance, while drought warnings will be issued 14 days in advance.
Pertamanya, pengmakluman ramalan kemarau 2 bulan lebih awal dan amaran kemarau 14 hari lebih awal. Sehingga kini 7 lembagan telah siap dan mula beroperasi, manakala 9 lembagan lain dijadualkan siap sepenuhnya pada Januari 2027. Yang kedua, pemakluman aras ataupun storan empangan bagi pemantauan kemarau. Dan ketiga, JPS turut memantau 25 empangan lain bagi memastikan storan adalah pada tahap siap siaga sebagai sumber air domestik dan pertanian.
Fadilah, who is also Minister for Energy Transition and Water Transformation, said this in Parliament in response to a question by Rantau Panjang MP Datuk Siti Zailah Muhammad Yusof, who inquired on what interagency coordination mechanism has been implemented to face the problem and to what extent efforts were made to utilize flood water in preparation for the drought. Fadila also said that Petra is working together with federal and state agencies to prevent pollution of main water sources during the drought.
The Dayak community in the country should be taken into account when formulating government policies. Selangor Member of Parliament Edwin Bantas said the government's main goal of providing assistance to bumiputra entrepreneurs during the recent 2024 Bumiputra Economic Congress has shown that the Dayak community needs special attention.
Saya juga ingin menarik perhatian Datuk Yang di-Pertua dan ahli-ahli yang berhormat akan penyertaan kaum Dayak dalam dasar-dasar kerajaan. Peluang yang setara bagi kaum Dayak yang berkelayakan adalah suatu keperluan yang tidak boleh diabaikan. Mengambil contoh dari pengumuman oleh Yang Amat Berhormat Perdana Menteri baru-baru ini semasa Kongres Ekonomi Bumiputra 2024, di mana bantuan kepada Bumiputra menjadi fokus utama, adalah penting untuk mengakui bahawa masyarakat Dayak memerlukan perhatian khusus. Dengan memberi perhatian khusus kepada masyarakat Dayak dalam rangkaian inisiatif bantuan Bumiputra, kita tidak hanya memberi peluang yang lebih besar kepada mereka untuk berkembang dalam bidang perniagaan, tetapi juga menyumbang kepada pembangunan ekonomi yang lebih inklusif dan seimbang di Sarawak dan Malaysia khasnya.
He said this during a motion of thanks on the Yang di-Pertuan Agong's decree in the Dewan Rakyat earlier today.
Malaysia will once again play host to the ASEAN Tourism Forum 2025 in Johor Bahru. Ministry of Tourism, Arts and Culture MOTAC Secretary General Datuk Roslan Abdul Rahman said that the forum serves as a platform to forge greater collaborations among ASEAN members in the tourism country. His text speech was read out by his deputy, Datuk Sharahuddin Abu Sohod, at the ASEAN Tourism Committee Meetings 2024 dinner on Wednesday.
The year 2025 holds great promise for Malaysia, and we embark on our ASEAN Championship, providing us with a unique platform to shape future collaboration and cooperation in the tourism sector. During our championship, Malaysia will host the next ASEAN Tourism Forum in the majestic city of Johor Bahru.
Team Unity in Motion, shaping ASEAN's tourism tomorrow, the ASEAN Tourism Forum 2025 aims to foster a spirit of unity and collaboration that surpasses geographical and cultural differences. The last time Malaysia hosted the event was in 2014. Bank Negara Malaysia's BNM Monetary Policy Committee MPC at its meeting on Thursday has decided to maintain the overnight policy rate OPR at 3.00%. The decision marks the fifth consecutive time that the central bank has kept the key rate at 3.00%. At the current OPR level, it noted that the monetary policy stance remains supportive of the economy and is consistent with the current assessment of the inflation and growth prospects. BNM said the global economy continues to expand moderately, supported by domestic demand amid improvement in trade activity, including favorable labor market conditions in some countries that continue to support consumption activity. The central bank said growth is expected to improve in 2024, driven by the recovery in exports and resilient domestic expenditure, and expects the inflation to remain moderate in 2024, reflecting stable demand conditions and contained cost pressures. The next MPC meeting to decide on the OPR rate will be on the 8th and 9th May. And on to world affairs. At least 20 Palestinian citizens have succumbed to starvation and dehydration, according to Health Ministry spokesperson Ashraf Al-Qudra. In a statement, hunger in northern Gaza has reached deadly levels, affecting children, pregnant women, and patients with chronic illnesses.
Al-Qudra issued a warning that thousands more residents of Gaza are at risk of starvation, urging immediate access to humanitarian aid and medical assistance in the region. The spokesperson accused the Israeli military of deliberately committing horrifying mass killings of thousands of starving individuals in northern Gaza. As a result, the United Nations is urged to take immediate action to prevent the worsening humanitarian and health crisis in Gaza.
Rail and airport workers in Germany have launched a fresh strike to support demands for higher wages. The strike has seen hundreds of thousands of commuters affected, disrupting the transportation sector, supermarkets, and public services in the country.
Rail workers began a 35-hour strike on Wednesday, affecting transportation services, followed by passenger services on Thursday morning. The strike aims to underline the main demand of the train drivers' union goal to reduce the working week to 35 hours from 38 hours. Rail workers have been staging strikes for months to demand wage increases to help cope with the high cost of living due to inflation. A rail driver strike in January caused disruptions for thousands of passengers for several days.
A recent study by UNESCO has shed light on the prevalence of gender bias in leading AI tools developed by OpenAI and Meta. The findings, released on Thursday, raised concerns about the portrayal of women in AI-generated content and underscored the need for greater diversity and ethical oversight in the tech industry. UNESCO experts tested Meta's Llama 2 algorithm and OpenAI's GPT-2 and GPT 3.5, the program that powers the free version of the popular chatbot, ChatGPT. The study found that each algorithm, known in the industry as large language models, showed evidence of prejudice against women. The programs generated text that associated women's name with words such as home, family, or children, but men's name were linked with business, salary, or career. While men were portrayed in high-status jobs like teachers, lawyers, and doctors, women were frequently portrayed as cooks or domestic servants. Although GPT 3.5 was found to be less biased than the other two models, concerns were raised about its closed-source nature, limiting transparency and accountability. Conversely, Llama 2 and GPT-2, being open source, allowed for greater scrutiny of the biases embedded within their algorithms. A UNESCO specialist in digital policies expressed concern over the impact of biased AI on users, emphasizing that tech companies must address these issues to serve all users effectively. Meanwhile, UNESCO Director General Audrey Azoulay highlighted the significant influence of AI tools in shaping public perceptions and called for concerned efforts to address gender biases in AI content. She emphasized the importance of promoting diversity within AI companies and urged governments to regulate the development and deployment of AI technologies to ensure ethical practices. The release of the UNESCO report coincides with International Women's Day, serving as a timely reminder of the imperative to address gender biases in technology and promote equality and inclusivity in the digital age. In the Tian Shan mountains of Kyrgyzstan, villagers have made an artificial glacier to provide water for their drought-hit farms. Measuring 5 meters high and 20 meters long, the glacier was made over 2 weeks in autumn by redirecting water from the peaks of Tian Shan. The villagers in the Central Asia region are being forced to adapt since natural glaciers, their main source of water, are slowly disappearing due to global heating.
In addition to providing water when it melts, the glacier also helps lower the ambient temperature and create humidity.
Зимой, летом, у нас было, получается, много засухи. Мы сталкивались с этими, и наша главная цель была обеспечить наших животных питьевой водой для выпаса скота. И мы сейчас первый экспериментальный ледник построили, то есть воду провели, и сейчас мы хотим посмотреть, как она будет влиять и действовать на скот. И у наших...
For farmer Erkin Kaldanov, he was optimistic about harnessing nature to counteract climate change.
Ошонтенен ушул музду сууну тоңдурма кылып жасадык. Азыр сууга да жакшы болуп калды. Бул жайы менен ушул ээрип бүткөнчө малыбыз ошодон суу ичет.
A 2023 study in the Journal of Science predicted that the acceleration in the melting of the glaciers would peak between 2035 and 2055. The extent of the problem can be seen in satellite images of Central Asia and in the regular warnings issued by the United Nations. The lack of snow, also due to higher temperatures, does not allow them to regenerate. Artificial glaciers were first created in the Indian Himalayas in 2014 and have gone global in countries like Chile and Switzerland, costing $6,200 to create each. The glaciers also allow farmers to keep livestock on spring pastures for longer before sending them to summer pastures, thus slowing soil erosion.
See the world closer with TVS as we bring you the latest news updates both locally and internationally. For more headlines anytime, anywhere, just head onto our official website at tvsarawak.my or follow us on our social media platforms at TV Sarawak. Those were the updates on TVS Nightline. I'm Lorenzo Isaac. Thank you for watching and have a good night.